We are locked. We are loaded. We are with my man Ricky Smith.
Have you had Rick Smith on yet?
I just
had
Rick Smith on.
That's why I asked. I'm the second.
I also are you not a junior or are you?
I am.
You are a junior.
I have a really big thing to talk about that. I know we're not on, but
No, we're on.
there's no. We have a local football player that's doing it now. You can't be a 2 without a third. I don't think people realize. So people just choose.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go on.
I can't be Richard Lee Smith the second. You're only the second.
Oh.
There's a third.
Yes.
But there's this trend sometimes. People are like, oh, I'm the second. Like, you're not. You can't just pick and choose.
Yeah.
You have to be a junior, and I hate the word junior. Like
so it goes like Ricky Smith, Ricky Smith, Ricky Smith Jr., Ricky Smith the second.
once you become a third, once you have a third.
This is
In the African American community,
the math is mathing.
it makes sense because everyone's just like, oh, I'm the second.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're
Technically,
junior.
you are the second.
You're not, but it's almost like it's like having a point A
Yeah.
with no B.
Okay.
Let me go through my point A.
Go through your point A.
But like, you can't. That's why there's no seconds. Like, you have to have a third. Like,
Yeah.
But it's weird because like I always hated junior. Like, it just in the African American community, to be called junior is just a weird. Hey, junior. I guess like poor people down south too. Hey, junior, Junebug. Like, no, I'm not. And my dad goes by Richard, and I've never in the history of the world, like even as a joke, I've never been called Richard a day in my life.
Really, just always
Ever.
Ricky.
It's always been Ricky.
Did anyone go for Dick?
For a short span of my comedy career at the beginning, I wanted to go by Dick.
Dick Smith?
And they were like, no, come to the stage as Ricky Smith. It's funny because even in high school, I was literally referred to as Ricky Smith, never Ricky.
Okay.
God
You were a
darn it,
two-name
Ricky
guy.
Smith?
You were a two-name guy.
Yeah, it was always Ricky Smith. I've walked out on dates when people just as a joke to be like, Richard. I'm like, it's not even a joke because it's not me. Like, naturally, oddly, and this is what this podcast was about.
Yeah.
Oddly, guys will call me Rick,
Yeah.
and women will call me Ricky. However, guys who know me through women will call me Ricky.
Interesting.
Yes.
That is interesting. So I think I've kind of found this out about myself as well, especially like as we've just totally just gotten off to the races here. Is that with girls, I will refer to them as like my friend, and with guys, they're my buddies.
Ah, yeah. Well, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like I don't know if I really
my
necessarily like call girls.
she's my buddy.
Yeah. Kind of comes
that's
off
weird.
weird.
That's weird, but that's my friend.
Yeah.
Am I your buddy?
Absolutely.
That's such a white term. I've never called somebody my buddy. Like, hey, that's my buddy.
Well, I am like
My boy.
I'm the whitest person you could possibly be.
Don't
Or,
say.
one of them. You know, I'm
you're up there.
Swedish, Norwegian, and German and Welsh.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, in our culture, that's just white. It's always this like age-on like debate. Like, no, I'm Italian. Like, to us, you're white. Whatever you just said
You're
is
from
white.
a European.
Yeah, you're not black.
Yeah.
You're not Asian. You're white. But no, it's funny, man. It is names and what you go by. But Rick Smith and I are good friends. That's before we started, why we got on this. But we've been confused. I've had people show up and like, you're not a magician. He's had people like,
You're not a magician.
You're not black comedian. We actually are working on something as we speak right now.
Really?
Yeah, we're working on a project right now to have fun with it. But he's amazing. Like, kudos to that guy,
Dude,
man.
he blew my mind. He had me Google search anything I wanted, and didn't see it. And then he Google searched my mind and goes, think of anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know him. I've met him in passing at a party one time,
Yeah.
and like we've just become like kind of Instagram friends, that type of deal. I thought of The Office.
Yeah.
And he guessed The Office. I was like, dude, like I was mind blown. And I know that there's probably some type of thing you have to learn, or it's a hypothetical guess, but I was blown away.
I had a situation pretty recently where, I have these loves.
Yeah.
And magic has always been the player as well as the act of. It's always been a love of mine.
Yeah.
And on this last tour I just did, cross-country tour visiting cancer patients with American Cancer Society.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
You're welcome.
From someone that has family with cancer.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's gonna kind of mess the story up, but you're welcome. I don't know. We had some logistical situation where I had to basically we ran out of funding, just some stuff. Anyway, so I had to be the act. Every stop, I was bringing somebody with me.
Okay.
And logistically, I couldn't anymore.
Oh,
so
okay.
I, being who I am, I was like, all right, I'll just learn some magic tricks, which I did, and I pulled them off, and it was so amazing to be in that space. And I know like 5 or 6 magic tricks, and I learned them, but it's so uniquely cool to realize like the Rick Smiths and the people of the world like yourself and Michael Simon and people that have a skill.
Yeah.
You can learn. I can go to learn how to speak in a microphone and interview people, and
Totally.
I could be a journalist.
Sure.
Then you learn and you see people in their element, and you're like, oh, okay,
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can't do this. Like
Yeah.
yourself, Michael Simon one time made me a ribeye, and we were doing this thing. We did a fundraiser for Rake.
Yeah.
And he cooks a steak, and he's like, you put it on 3 minutes each side of ribeye, and whatever. And we're talking just like we're talking right now. And he just flips it over, and I go, "Well, what did you have a timer?" Or what? He goes, "No, I can hear the sizzle to know
Oh my gosh.
when to flip it."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and just casual, flips it again, throws it in. Best steak I ever had in my life. So he has these restaurants, he's on these cooking shows and all this stuff, and we see him as the Michael Simon. But I don't think have you ever had a meal directly from Michael Simon?
I have not. I've eaten at his restaurants.
So jokingly, he could be a fraud for all we know. He could
Yeah.
be so far removed from whatever.
Absolutely.
Nah. I was like, oh, this guy. To this day, I know exactly what he did. I was with him. I know the recipe and everything, just to a simple ribeye. You're a steak guy, I'm a steak guy. I know exactly. He put mustard on both sides, Dijon.
It's like
he put
you could
oil.
make it side by side and watch exactly what he's doing, but his is still going to taste better.
I don't know if I'm giving this away, but I think it's a cookbook. He puts a Dijon for the crust, and I hate mustard. But
For a ribeye?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like trying to. I'm like, I don't like mustard, but I just rock with it. So it caramelizes, it crusts, it makes a perfect crust. The Dijon mustard.
Just like a light.
Yep.
Interesting.
You put olive oil on top of that.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper. First time I did it,
Wait, did he salt and pepper after the Dijon mustard or before?
he put the salt and pepper before.
Before. Okay, so you salt and pepper, and then you put the. Okay, that makes sense.
And then a little bit
Okay.
of olive oil on top of the steak, not in the pan.
Yeah. Interesting.
I've been eating mustard steaks, man, for a year.
Big mustard steak.
Like, why is the mustard not going away? Like, literally, I'm like a 5-year-old kid eating a ribeye that tastes like a hot dog.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What's your favorite meal? A milk steak. What the hell's a milk steak? Just put it down, milk steak. You'll know.
But back to Rick Smith. So I know about 5 or 6 magic tricks. I can get through a show. People ooh and ah. But like the trick he did, you probably could say, all right, I just learned that trick. Don't go to something else. Like he's probably working on 10 other tricks that are uniquely to him.
And that's the thing too, is that he's not just like learning tricks. He's inventing tricks.
It's almost like in the comic world where there's a big thing, I'm sure, with the Cat Williams and just in general about comic stealing material and this and that. And not saying I'm on their level by no means, but for comics or writers, we're like, I just think of another joke.
Yeah.
Like no one knows like who made why the chicken crossed the road.
Sure.
We don't know who made that.
Yeah.
Or jokes you tell around the guys or whatever.
Or the knock jokes.
Yeah. No one's ever like, oh, let me tell this joke so-and-so wrote.
Sure.
But like if you get caught up in that, you just write more jokes. Like you can't stop. Like I had a joke years ago that got taken on Twitter. It was like, at the end of the day, it's night.
I get it.
That's brilliant, right?
That's perfect.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna sit there all day and like go on Twitter and be like, who wrote this?
Yeah,
it was me. That was me that wrote
I
it.
did this. Yeah.
I'll come up with something else just as dumb.
Yeah.
So
you know what's interesting is that what you kind of alluded to it earlier was like when you see someone in their element and doing what they're doing, a lot of things click. Like I was like really nervous to say that I was going to go into TV. Like I just thought it was like, people are gonna think I'm an idiot, or like, that they're like, oh, good luck, kid.
there's no money in that.
But but the moment I said, hey, I'm going to pursue this, everyone was like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Well, did you have that with comedy, like when you were a kid or
1,000,000%?
something like that?
My whole life I've been funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because anyone that comes to a show or anyone that sees me perform, they never get. Afterwards, I'm always excited to see what they say.
Totally.
And like my wife was like, "Oh yeah, you were you."
Yeah.
And I was like, was I good? She said, oh, you were great, but you were you. Like all my friends growing up, my family members, everybody. They were like, oh, that it was just you on stage being you.
Yeah.
You killed it. Like even the first time I did stand up, it was ironically coming on 14 years. I've never been one of those guys with numbers, by the way. But it was Valentine's Day. My divorce finalized, and I just happened to be across the street at the Comedy Store in L.A.
And that was the first time you did stand-up?
First time I did stand-up.
Wow.
I was like, God is telling me something. I got divorce finalized on Valentine's Day. Comedy Stores across the street. And I was toying with it, and people kept telling me to do it, but lost everything. Car is gone. Wife is gone. Dog is gone, literally. And I'm like, all right, so just go on stage and just talk.
Yeah.
I can do that.
What'd you talk about? What was your set?
My first joke.
Did you write anything down, or did you just go up there?
I just went up there.
Really?
Yeah, I just went up there.
At the Comedy Cellar?
Comedy Store
in L.A.
Yep.
That's
and I did
that takes
pretty
some
well.
cojones.
It doesn't. Sometimes the universe puts you where you need to be.
Sure.
And it keeps forcing you to go where you need to be until you finally accept it.
Yeah.
You could put it on call waiting. You could push it away, but then you realize the skills and the things you have. Marlon Wayans is a name drop, but this is what we're doing right now. Marlon Wayans met me about 4 or 5 years prior. It was a bigger name drop. Serena Williams and I became really close friends on social media.
Just drop them all, dude.
Oh, I got them all, one at a time. But I actually don't. This is why I like talking to you. I don't talk about this at all. But Serena Williams and I became good friends from social media, and because I have a very specific skill set that you've seen. That I can drink with the best of them.
That is true.
I can drink with the best of them responsibly. Actually, irresponsibly.
Being next to Ricky at a bar is a little concerning sometimes. He's a big shot guy.
So this is now. Imagine 14 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm living in my car, and theoretically, I don't have a wife, and I'm just by myself in San Diego. I don't know if you've been to San Diego, but it's Gaslamp District. I have a good friend of mine who played for the Browns, but he was at San Diego Chargers at the time there during the lockout.
Okay.
So every day we just woke up with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Go to bars.
Why not?
So it became this urban legend. Guys from Workaholics, like TV show execs, people were like, would want to come down to San Diego and just see me just do my thing.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like, okay.
Getting drunk.
Just drink for free? Yeah. All right, line them up. And Serena Williams, people would like DM me and be like, I'm jealous. Like, you're hanging out with all my friends. I see all that. Like, I want to drink with you. And it became this thing, like, people just want to drink with me. So long story short, Serena Williams and I got cool, and she does these big karaoke parties at her house after the Grammys.
Okay.
And I just kind of happened to host, like just in her house, just messing around. I grab a microphone.
Dude, no way.
Oh yeah. So it's everybody. There's Carl Thomas is there. It's Kevin Garnett is there. Kardashians are there. It's a funny story about Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries. I kind of I kind of introduced them, but that's a whole nother story.
Whoa, we can't glaze over that.
We just did.
Go.
That's not the story we're talking about.
All right,
here.
we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Chris is a good friend. Anyway. But Marlon Wayans saw me up there.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you do? I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just living.
I drink in San Diego.
I just came up here on a Greyhound. Yeah. He's like, man, you're talented. Like, you are hilarious. Like, bro, you should be doing stand-up right now. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Actually, no, at the time I was married. I actually was married in San Diego, living with my wife and all this stuff. She actually, too, was like, you should be a comic. I'm like, nah, whatever. I'm cool.
Yeah.
And he just kept saying it, like, bro, like, so what's wrong with you? And he yelled at me that night. It's like 4 a.m. He goes, you have a gift. Yeah. God, the universe, whatever you believe in, gave you a gift. If you don't use that gift, then you're telling God that he's not worthy of using your gift to use it for the world.
Wow.
He goes, you have this set of skills, whether it's journalism, whether it's cooking, whether it's magic, whether it's comedy, whether it's whatever it may be. If you don't use that skill, then what's the point?
Yeah. And especially, I mean, how much confidence did that give you to be able to do that? Because it's one thing hearing it from a buddy. It's one thing hearing it from your mom or something like that. But to hear it from one of the funniest people
absolutely none, because I went back to San Diego.
It took
getting a divorce. It got me losing everything to realize that, okay, but I made a pact. I got it's a story that's over and over and over again, and we've talked about it. But had $20 left in my name.
Yeah.
I was living in my car, and my car got repossessed. I got a bike from a friend who the bike got stolen.
Your buddy,
Joe Orvac, one of the guys at Barley House or whatever, came to visit in LA, and I took a bike to a club, Greystone. My dad was like, who drives a bike to a club? And I was like, who steals a bike from a club?
Someone who has $20.
Yeah, I was like, my boys are there, and this guy named Joe Smith who just retired. They're all at Greystone, and Joe Orvac at the time was like, yo, pull up. Like, come hang out with us. We're at Greystone. I got on my bike. Got dressed up, rode my bike, didn't valet it. I put it, down the street.
It would have been hilarious if you valeted it.
Now I could have, because now it's confidence. But locked my bike up, and we go, and we get a limo, and they drop me back off at the person's couch I was sleeping on. Next morning I go, and it's gone.
The bike.
The bike.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't, car repossessed, bike is stolen. Like, this is it. And I had
so that was rock bottom.
Had $20 left on my name, and a good friend of mine was like, just stay one more day. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna call my mom and dad. Like, this LA life, they're paying my cell phone bill. I'm a grown man. Like, let me just go back to Cleveland. It's not working. And took $20 as a screw you to the universe. Bought 4 Little Caesars pizzas for $5.
Yeah.
And with their permission, told their story. Was like, hey, I'm just throwing a party with my friends out here, and took selfies and was silly. And next morning was set to call my mom and dad, be like, you know what? I don't know what I was doing in LA. I don't know what I thought I was gonna do here in California, but it didn't work. Like, I'm ready to come home. And I still have the voicemail on my phone. Cartoon Network exec called. It goes, this writing gig you're up for, you got it.
Dude.
A show called Black Dynamite. I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know how much writers made. And they were like, we need you to come in on Tuesday to sign your paperwork.
That was that day?
It was that day.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And so I went to a random church, which I didn't know at the time, I didn't grow up Catholic.
Yeah.
I went to a random church that was open. I was like, all right, I got to go do something. And I saw it maybe about a year ago. I wrote down on a piece of paper 10 things I need to do in order to make money doing comedy and doing whatever. I do the same things to get back to the universe. And one of them was I couldn't make money doing comedy if I didn't use the same energy to help people. And sometimes to this day, Austin, I can tell you firsthand, I get mad at RAKE.
Yeah.
The comedy person in me, and sometimes the comedy guy gets mad at, vice versa, because I'm like, oh, I could be back in Hollywood, I could be doing this, and my comedy class that I came in with, they're writing on shows, and they got this, and they got that, and I'm like, oh, here I am trying to help the world, and vice versa. Sometimes I'm like, I want to just help the world, but I got to make money doing this and that. So, yeah, the long answer, but I believe you are where you're supposed to be, and you're helping where you need to help. I even feel like even with the last tour I did, this lady goes, "You're so funny. You should be on." She said Leno. I don't think she knew that Leno wasn't on anymore. I was like,
gone for a few years.
I didn't want to tell her, but I was like, she's like, but I go, ma'am, if I was on Leno these places, I wouldn't be touching you individually. I wouldn't be saving or touching these lives or trying to bring smiles to the people I bring them to. I'd be a bigger name, I'd be doing this and that, and I wouldn't be as personable maybe as I am. Or I just don't question where I am. You are where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point of being where you're supposed to be and trusting that you're supposed to be there. But like kind of going off of that too is you made the 10 list of things and giving back was on there. Once your writing career took off, once your comedy career took off, it's not like you tattooed this on your forehead. Like you could have just kept that to yourself, but why was it so important for you to continue to give back and to do this with Rake and really just make this your life mission?
To me, man, not to keep going back to the Michael Simons and the yourself and Rick Smith, I just literally just those 3 people in mind, including myself. Yeah. You use your journalism, you host a bunch of things to give back and do energy. Michael Simon does a bunch of give backs and food and stuff like that. Rick Smith is always doing magic give backs. It's like, to me, it's hand in hand. Yeah. Like, to me, is like, I don't know how to do a yin without a yang. Even comedy, to me, making people laugh is no different. Like you kind of said, the journalism thing, like I just think of myself as like a funny guy who just, man on the street, just making people laugh, being silly. Like I don't know how to turn it on or off. Sure. I truly believe, man, and not to get too spiritual or deep, but I believe my daily prayer is always, I'm very specific. Yeah, I want a Porsche, I want $1 million. Yeah. But I end it with, but use me how you want me to be used. Yeah. And if it's to be wherever I need to be or this or that, like, because at the end of the day, man, you have it all figured out. Yeah. 18 years old, you want to do this, you want to do that, you're going to do this, and then somebody dies. Yeah. Or then you lose this job, or you don't get this promotion. And you realize the older you get, the more you realize you're not in control of anything.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, so to put it in, I never thought I'd be sitting in Cleveland, Ohio. I never thought I'd be here for 6 years from someone from Northern Illinois. When I got an email. I was leaving my station in Rockford. I told them that I was leaving. I was not coming back. I had no job, no prospects. 3 days before I was supposed to leave and go out on my own, I was going to go be a bartender. I get an email from WKYC like, "Hey, we'd love to have you out for an interview in Cleveland." And I was like, "Oh, Cleveland. Like, I think I could do Cleveland." Yeah. Like, I thought I'd be here for 2 years. Yeah. 2 years, do my contract time here and then move on. And the universe wants me here. I met my wife here.
There you go.
I've met some of my best friends here.
There
I've
you
started
go.
a life here in Cleveland. Ask 18-year-old Austin what he'd be doing. Oh, I'm going to be in LA.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to be on, I'm going to be famous.
Oh, famous.
You know?
We're all on the billboards and this
Right?
and that. And
My
we all,
name's going to be in lights.
Yeah. And who's to say it isn't or isn't? But you never know, too. Part two of that is, I was just talking to a friend the other day, you never know who you motivate and inspire.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what you did to put people in place and to be where to be. Life is hard, man. Life is really hard. It's cruel. It's unfair. I hate this whole thing that no regrets. We have so many regrets. I regret wearing the outfit I wore in 8th grade.
Absolutely.
But it's learning from those moments. It's taking it in and realizing that we're only here for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I say this phrase all the time, that life is short. But I don't think people realize it's not the living part that's short. It's the good years.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. You start living at what, 21, 22, you start making your own money out of college.
Yeah.
And then, you have to take medicines and aches and pains and pills. So, like, you only get a good 20, 30, 40 years, and you can use that to be negative, and you can use that to be, drained or woe is me. We all got these set of cards, and we got them, whether we like them or not. And we're here. So it's like, you might as well just go take a shot at the bar.
Yeah. And it is one of those things, too, of like, I'm such a believer in you choose happiness. And happiness is way harder to live and to choose and to have that part of your life than it is to be negative. It's easy to be negative.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of interesting, man. The Forbes list.
Yeah.
Are the richest.
Yeah.
Right? They have a Forbes list of riches, and we know these. We could look it up. Do we know the happiest?
No.
Do we know top 10 happiest?
No.
Never,
Yeah.
right? And even then, it's projected what we think happiness looks like, right? So we probably put it into a monetary form. We put it to a social media form. We go from there. Part two, do you know who the freest is?
No.
So all we have is these lists of financial and this and that. We're supposed to work, get more. I asked these kids I spoke to, and I do them with my personal self, but I don't think the world does. But we're here, and everyone's going to listen to us in the world. So 7.8 billion people.
Absolutely.
I always ask people, how much money do you need to make to be happy? And stop at that point.
Sure.
Because there is a point of making more. Rest in peace, my sister passed away, big time lawyer, and she worked, make more money, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. I got to benefit a lot.
Yeah.
But at what point do you say, okay, I only need to make X amount of dollars? Anything over that, I'm okay. I'd rather make X amount of dollars and work 4 days a week, eight hours a day, and I'm fine. Mm-hmm. None of us know that number.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't say the
it
whole
could be
goal
different
is
for everyone.
True, and it should be.
Yeah.
But the whole goal is to get promoted. But what if I said, okay, I'll give you, I'm just making this up, $75,000. You never have to work.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. $75,000 pretty good.
But you can go wherever you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we never think like that. We just think that the more. We talk about these stories like, and I'm being hypocritical to myself because I'm wearing Lululemon. I like materialistic things.
Totally.
But we never say like, okay, I love the freedom that Jay-Z got for his family from da-da-da-da-da. We just say, oh, he's a billionaire. He's working. And it's funny now, and I'm sorry I'm rambling, but it's all making sense in my head.
Crystal.
We do this comment, billionaires wasn't a thing when I was a kid.
There was like 4 billionaires.
Yeah, and I only saw these rich people on like Sundays on Lifestyle Rich and Famous.
Yeah. It's like you knew Warren Buffett and Bill
Gates.
Bill Gates.
God, you're way younger than me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know them.
Yeah.
There was no computer when I was growing up, Austin.
Sorry.
But no, because you only time before cell phones, you only knew who was in your neighborhood. Really, if you think about it. And the kids in your neighborhood had just as much money as you did.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't see like wealth wasn't thrown in your face or this or that. So to go on your phone, man, it was a time during COVID, all my friends were getting Rolexes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want a Rolex. And I looked them up, and it's $17,000. And I picked the cheapest one that I could get, and I was afford, and I was ready to get it. I was like, I don't even know. I barely know where my Apple Watch is.
Yeah. I wore that like 4 times.
And I'm very secure of who I am, but you just go in this machine all day, our phones, which I'm a success story, and we love social media, but you're only on it when you're bored.
It's
or
true.
You're not when you're having the best time of your life. You're not like, oh, let me go look at other people's lives.
Exactly.
So your mind is already in a state of like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. Let me just go look at other people's lives. Oh, you just bought a car. Yeah. Now, you're not looking at your own success. You have a car that works. You have a family that loves you. Even myself, the stuff I did last year alone, I had to write it down because I thought last year wasn't a success for me. I'm like, whoa.
Why'd you think that?
From a career standpoint, because as RAKE goes, sometimes the comedy goes down. So Good Morning America, did the tour, just all the stuff that happened to me. But I'm like, whoa, I didn't write a TV show.
So it was like the RAKE was, because you had a good year with RAKE.
I had amazing.
I mean, you
year.
were all over the place.
Got married
with RAKE.
Yeah.
So is it with you, like, where do you find success in balancing it? Is it a perfect balance, or is it 60-40?
You as well.
Yeah.
You tell me. I think when we're in the ground, I don't know. It's a struggle. I'm a little older. It's a struggle every day of taking over the world versus I've done enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
or what's enough?
Yeah. Because, again, when do you stop? So for me, it's like, okay, I have this movie I want to do, and I want to write another show, and I want to do this. And then I'm like, I kind of like just waking up and doing yoga this morning. Yeah. I don't know. You don't know because you're trying to do what's best for you. And I always say this, man, we're doing this in real time. There's no rehearsals.
Yeah.
Like, we can't redo yesterday.
Absolutely.
And so what's good for you might not be good for you tomorrow or today. So I don't know, man. It's rough.
You know, with some self-reflection though, where do you find yourself in the moment being like, this is where I'm supposed to be? Or I'm the happiest in this moment.
Yeah.
Doing this.
I don't know.
Is it on stage? Is it writing?
On stage. On stage.
Or
in front of people.
Or is it DJing at a nursing home?
You just threw that right up, making people laugh.
Yeah.
Making others
people
laugh.
Yeah.
Whether it's in person.
Or bringing joy.
Yeah, I just had these people. They were at Restoration Hardware, and there's a mom sitting in a chair, and there's a man and his son. And I walk by and go, just get the chair. They start laughing. I go, don't get broke energy. Just you look good in the chair. Buy the chair, Dad. She deserves it.
Buy the damn chair.
And they crack up laughing, and we go back and forth some banter. I didn't say my name, not them anybody. We just walked away. And I saw them 10 minutes later, and I go, you got the chair? And she goes, no. I go, leave them. And they just busted out laughing. Me and my wife, we just walked away. And to me, that fills me up more than anything in the world. I don't know what they were going through. I don't know who they were. I don't know, who if they were good people or quote unquote bad people. I don't know if they had cancer. I don't know if they're dealing with something. But for me, that exchange, I wish I could just go around the world just doing that 24/7.
Yeah, I love that. But you've been doing it for your whole career. And going back a little bit too is talking about laughter, talking about comedy. You talked about how the day after your divorce or the day of the divorce, you literally went right to the Comedy Store. How has laughter is a medicine. How was it that obviously
I should write a movie about that.
Absolutely. That getting a divorce obviously is probably one of the lower times that a person can go through. How did making other people's laugh help you get over that situation and in process start to heal you?
Not literally, but you strip yourself down and realize you still have a skill set, that you still have ability. Mine was that I had nothing but my wit and my brain, and I could still use that even with nothing to help others.
Yeah.
And realizing that joy of Russell Simmons had a tweet years ago, and this is when I was doing okay. He said, when you have nothing, give more. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing. I even wrote that. This is back when you could be like gross on the line and just there was no canceling. I probably wrote some bad language like
2010 Twitter was wild.
I probably wrote some crazy stuff to him, and I'm like, what does that mean even?
Yeah.
And it kind of inspired the $20 left in my name. It was like I had the ability to still make others laugh. Yeah. As crazy as my life was, and I didn't expect to be living in a car. My mom and dad knew I was living in a car, and it gets repossessed. And it's funny because my friend at the time didn't even know it got repossessed. I was like, oh, somebody stole my car. She's like, oh, I'll drive you to your house. Like, I'll take you home. And I was like,
yeah, well, I actually,
I didn't. I was like, I'll just stay at your house.
Yeah,
like, no,
just stay here.
I was like, but I realized at that moment, man, that I still had the ability to make people laugh, and I still have the ability to make people smile. So even at my worst, literally, I still was okay to make the world a better place, and I could do what I can to make the world a better place.
Yeah. When someone is at their lowest point, what would your advice be to them to help get out of it? Because I feel like when you're in that space, sometimes you don't realize you might be in that space, and then you might not have or want the willpower to get out of it. But I've never, thankfully, hit rock bottom to what I would consider rock bottom. My advice would be you just got to do something.
What's relative is your rock bottom.
Sure.
I said this the other day. My 5-year-old daughter, stepdaughter, her rock bottom is different than it's all relative, which is okay it's okay. Like it's okay not to compare your rock bottoms.
Sure.
Like you're not comparing your happiness. So your rock bottom, I mean, I know with your family, some stuff like that, that's, relatively stressful and whatever for you.
Absolutely.
Not to go back to that. But you just got to get through it. And I know it sounds very cheesy, but you take it one moment and one day at a time. If it's literally the next 10 minutes, I tell people never have 2 bad days in a row.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, but I say, what do you like? If you like getting pizza, the next day you wake up, you go get that bad day out. You cry, you feel like scum, you shouldn't be here. I'm just take it all in. Next day you wake up, go get that breakfast sandwich, go get that slice of pizza. Maybe it's nothing, you could do financially, but maybe it's a friend or family person you like. Maybe it's going outside in nature. Maybe it's something that you find within yourself that you can do to say, you know what, I got this.
Yeah.
But my rule is no 2 bad days in a row. And I know, again, when you're down and out and you're bad, it's hard to say. Maybe you could be every other day. But if it's something you like and enjoy, it could be literally going to the movies. It could be, watching a basketball game. I'm a big nature guy, man. I'm a big nature and out exploring and this and that. But I do believe if you just get through. My mom has a great quote that it was surprising. My mom's a banker, and she's always been financially sound. She goes, "They can't arrest you for being broke." I go, "What?" She goes, "If you're broke, yeah." She goes, "They can't arrest you, so if you're living and you have health right now, you're fine.
Yeah,
you'll figure it out."
That's really what it all comes down to.
Money sucks, man. If you think about it, most of our stress besides health is money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is,
dude. Since I've gotten married, I feel like that's my number one. It's all I worry
about. It's all anybody stresses about.
It's all I worry about.
But guess what? You figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah, you get through it, and yeah, but as I've gotten older, that's my number one stress.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about the future? I'm one of those guys.
Sometimes.
I'm like, what am I doing when I'm 68?
Yeah, no, I don't think about 68.
Oh, I'm crippling. No. I'm crippled with like future.
Yeah, I don't think about 68. I think about like 40. Probably.
Because you're probably 18, 20 years younger than me. Okay. Has anyone ever walked off on... Is anybody else here want to interview me? No, nobody.
Oh, my bad. But
I learned to stay in the moment. In the moment, like literally right now, we're having a good time.
We're having a great time. We always have fun.
Well, I mean, like right now, though. Like if someone's stressed about an hour.
Yes. And I'm not stressed about anything right now.
You should be. What's playing in the background here? Somebody's loud. You don't hear that?
Randy, you trying to join the podcast here, pal, or what?
Little loud here, guys. In the back, please. Little loud.
You trying to join the podcast, Randy, or what?
I'm right here, okay? I've known you a long time, Randy. Jeez, you're right at the meat of the story too.
He was crying and everything. Oh Lord!
But even just man, I don't know, man. I wish the world would understand that, like, if everyone just relaxed and learned how to just live in the moment.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound really dumb, and I'm all over the place, and I did not take an edible. Like at the core of it, I saw 2 giraffes fighting. I don't know if you've ever seen giraffes fighting. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Were you on an edible then?
No, I was not.
Oh, okay.
I was just on Instagram. Right. Yeah. Have you ever seen giraffes fighting?
I have. Yeah, they just nailed it.
And I have a really dumb question, but I'm like, what would make a giraffe fight?
Probably over sex, or or food, or territory.
But I'm like, but they could just go to separate. My point is, like, you could just go to a different corner.
We could do that too.
Same.
Yeah.
like war. Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, and it's more of a macro than a micro, because I don't understand the micro.
We're big picture guys.
Yeah, but it's like, why are we fighting?
It's true. I agree.
Like, me and you go to a bar and we don't like each other, and we're like, oh, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah.
Like, are we fighting to death? Like, when do I let up and be like, oh, or am I trying to kill you? Like, it's. But when you break it down, it's so simple. It's like, all right, you guys go over there, we'll go over here, and we'll just have a good time.
I don't think I could hit someone hard enough to kill them.
What if I was like trying to kill you though?
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Same.
Like,
I was like, if I hurt you hard enough, I'm like, oh.
It's like if someone was actually trying to kill me, I don't know if I could kill them just based on strength.
Same.
Like,
I've been known to get in some tussles, and I didn't know this, but I've disrespected people worse because I don't hit, I smack.
Oh. That's the Charles Oakley.
But because in my mind, I don't want to punch you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm being more disrespectful.
But it's more disrespectful.
That's what I hear.
To get a slap to the face than a punch to the face.
I'm a slapper.
Yeah. That's why Charles Oakley does that.
Really, see, I don't know. That doesn't help me.
That is a Charles Oakley
So I'm
thing.
doing it because I don't want to punch you. I feel like that hurts.
Yeah, it's just a different.
Okay,
that also getting slapped is also hurting of the soul as well. Like it's the hurt of the face and the hurt of the soul.
I got into it with a guy many years ago.
Yeah.
It didn't happen recently.
Okay. Yeah.
And
it didn't happen.
We got
recently,
into it, and I ran into him like 4 months later. I don't know what he looked like, whatever. He goes, "Hey, bro, I just want to say, man, you're really cool. Like I looked you up. I wanted to hate you." He goes, "That stuff you do with Rake, man. I just want to shake your hand, bro."
Yeah.
And I was like, and I remember what happened. Something very minor. Chestnut.
Yeah.
He took his seat at a bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, give my boy a seat back." And next thing we know, we're like tussling. But he was like, I looked you up. You're a good dude, man.
Yeah.
He was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "I'm sorry too." And we literally hugged, and now we're boys.
That's hilarious.
But at the end of the day, like,
Also, like put your ego aside. It's not that big a deal.
it's
Like,
a chair.
it's a
We didn't even
chair.
own it.
Yeah.
We didn't even own the bar.
I got into a very similar situation, but I diffused the situation by kind of humiliating this person.
Oh, that's my go-to. Go ahead. I
So-
would love to hear this.
You remember where Bocce, the old Bocce?
Oh, this is recently. Okay.
I mean, this was in Cleveland.
Okay.
Like this was.
Come on, Austin.
This was probably. It was right when I moved to Cleveland.
Let's go.
This was probably 6 years ago.
All right.
They had those outdoor areas. I was with a group of like 10 people. We were all sitting in like basically a circle. I was sitting on I think they used to have outdoor fireplaces there. So I was sitting on the fireplace. My buddy was right next to me, and my buddy was on the other side. I was in the middle, and then every one of our friends were around us. And
You were running court. That's what it's called. You were in the middle.
well,
Were the jokes working that day?
no.
Okay.
They weren't.
Okay.
They were not funny. One of my buddies to my right got up, and then just like a random dude, sat down in the middle of a group of friends.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was bizarre. And I didn't think it would be a big deal. I was like, "Hey, dude, my buddy's sitting there. He's come back, and he's like, I don't care."
Wow.
And I go, "Okay." So I just penetrated this person with questions, just like
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
hot
yeah.
fire questions until he felt so uncomfortable that he had to get up. It was amazing.
Do you know what he looks like?
No.
That's my biggest fear
I
too.
wouldn't know.
I'm afraid. It's actually
But
a phobia.
I killed him with kindness. I asked him, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so where are you from?"
Yeah, but he watches you every morning.
Probably.
He's lifting weights.
I've always said I have one of the most punchable faces in Cleveland.
Oh, it's very easily.
And
yeah.
I'm surprised that and this is not an open invitation, but I'm surprised that in my whole life, especially back in college, that no one just cold cocked me.
You did something that I love, but I've tried it and I've used it about 75 times.
What is it?
Once it's failed.
What?
We have a mutual friend. We don't have a mutual friend. I have a friend.
Kev.
No. Yes. We're hanging out at a bar, and he said, "Oh, da 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 da." You go, "Oh, you don't remember me?" You go, "No, be more memorable." And I've used that so many times in my dry humor, but once it didn't work. But he's like, "You think you're all that? You think you're all that?" And I was like, but I leaned more into it. I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "Clearly."
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey." I was like, "All right, whatever, man."
There was that just kind of makes me sound like an a-hole. There was a little bit more to it, but
No, but
yeah.
it's good. But here's the thing.
And he's like, "Dude, you don't remember me." I go, "Well, be more memorable."
Nah, well, you didn't go high pitch.
Okay.
High pitch would have made it funny.
Be more memorable.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
that's
And
what
you
it was.
continue to drink your cider.
Yeah.
But no, I think even with those type of situations, man, it's fun to just be fun. Right?
Yeah.
So like if you're that serious and whatever, and to your point, whenever something's about to happen, I always have a line. My wife, we almost got in trouble once, but I always go, "Are you serious?" And I give people way, even if you are upset, to be like, "No."
To get out of it.
And so we had a situation recently, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." So my wife comes up, and she's like 5'1". She's like, "He's not serious." He's like punching the guy in the chest. She's like, "No, he's joking." I was like, "Nope, babe, he's."
Nope.
He's like, "I'll go in my car and come right back."
Yeah.
She's like, "For what?" I was like, "Oh, time to go."
Tootaloo. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think people, and mind you, I understand people are going through a lot.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
never
a
know
tough
what people
few
are
years.
going through, or just in general. You never
Yeah,
know what people are going
it's true.
through. We're all going through something. So me, in our humor and our whatever, and my sometimes ability to try to, I don't know if I would like me. I don't.
I'm sorry, what was it?
I don't know if I would like me. Like
Oh.
if I didn't know me, I don't know if I would like me. Like
You're fine.
I'm loud. No, but you have to have a certain confidence.
You want to know what I've heard people say about you?
Oh, I love when people do this because I don't really care, but come on.
Ricky is great in doses.
Wow. You know what's funny about that? I only want to be in doses.
Yeah, right?
I
Yeah.
don't want to be around whoever's like,
But also define a dose, you know?
yeah.
3-4 hours? Fantastic.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you're this way. I'm a true introvert.
Are you?
I am. Have you ever seen me without 4 or 5 people?
Very rarely.
That's all my comfort.
Yeah.
Like literally, I almost.
Yeah, you definitely have an entourage.
I pay friends. No, it's not an entourage. I beg them. I beg of thee to be with me at all times.
Yeah.
I know you've invited me places and that. I probably don't show up. That's the reason. I am a true introvert extrovert. Like I can literally stay by myself for 23 hours a day.
So do you have social anxiety?
I did before edibles.
Okay.
Being honest.
Sure.
Medical marijuana. I didn't start dabbling into it until I could find out and research during COVID. I'm a social drinker.
Yeah.
All the bars were closed.
Yeah.
So I needed to figure something out that I needed to because we were recluse for so long. And so for me, it's like, okay, I could go a week. Oh, I was in heaven.
Yeah.
I learned how to cook. I learned how to DJ. I learned this stuff just every day. Like I would do.
Did
like,
you go rollerblading a lot?
I did.
Yeah.
Roller skating. Yeah. But I had like almost like I was in class. I had an hour of this. I learned Duolingo. Oh, I was good. I was ready.
You're like a retirement.
I was having a good time.
Here's the programs.
Oh my God. I was doing great stuff. And then it was like the world's back open. I was like, oh, because I'm sure like you, I don't want the world to think I'm anybody. I'm not saying I'm this and that, but like for the 2 people to recognize me a day, I have to be on.
Yeah.
I have to be on, and sister passes away, and just in general with the world, sometimes I don't want to be on. And it's like, Ricky Smith, kindness.
Yeah.
Tell me a joke. And it's like, I'm nervous, so I'm standoffish naturally. Like but for me, comedy or jokes are what makes it whatever. So like, there's been moments I'm just sitting in the corner, and people are like, oh, he thinks he's better than us. He's standoffish. Like, no, I don't know how to make small talk. Like I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't care about your grass.
Yeah.
I don't really, you know what I mean? Because like it sounds vain, but like your point of view is your point of view.
Yeah.
So if you really think like the Cavs should, trade so and so, like okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Cool,
so like for me to come back,
story.
I'm like or I'm just gonna just tell you everything I feel. Then now I'm running court, and now should be used in doses. Who said it? I'm looking at the camera. Who said it?
What? Well, I'm not here to drop names. What is interesting though, and this is something
You
from
said
like
it. No.
this is something from like Ellen DeGeneres. She's like when she got canceled, and then she said, "I wish I wouldn't have made my like brand kindness because." It's impossible to be kind 100% of the time. You have hard days. You have, bad periods of your life or just little snippets that someone might look at you and from afar misread the situation and be like, oh, that guy's kind of a jerk.
I get it a lot.
How much pressure do you have to how often are you thinking to be the kindness guy?
Always.
Yeah.
Took a step
Does
further.
it weigh on you?
Oh, constantly. I have a good friend of mine who was like, how does it feel to always have to feel like you have to be perfect?
Yeah.
And not even with that, but brands. I don't have a Channel 3. I don't have a McDonald's. Like I'm not employed by these people. So for me, it's even with comedy, journalism is no different. Like I'm judged. Like everything we was raised, like don't worry what people think of you. I have to be.
Kind of like a politician.
100%.
Yeah.
I have to be at all times. Man, I'm not suicidal.
Yeah.
But it's 2 professions they claim are like the most is comedy and people that run nonprofits. Or like the most
both.
stress, most whatever. Because think about a nonprofit. I'm never. It's funny. People who come up to me. This is why I love being a comic. With a nonprofit, people come like, "How's RAKE?" Like I won't see him 10 years. Like you still don't like. No, the world hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Like I'm still gonna try to spread kindness. Like that's a forever message. Like I'm gonna try to do my city. I'm gonna try to do this stuff X, Y, Z. And you get these moments where like when I first started, man, like I was doing good. I make decent money. Like I'll get a ribeye. And somebody be like, is that where my donation goes? It's like, no, like
that would be.
I had a person
that
man.
would weigh on me.
I have a text, and I waited till my sister passed, and I called it, and they didn't answer. But they wrote this long text message. We would take these trips, and I could be honest. Now we never talked about my sister when she had cancer. She had it for 5 to 6 years. Sometimes I wouldn't know. I was a baby, and I didn't want to know. Like even when she passed. I found out last of everybody.
Wow.
So we would take these trips.
Are you the youngest?
I am. Duh.
Same. Yeah. But that's interesting. I was like, my parents didn't do this on purpose. And I know my dad didn't do this on purpose. But when my mom got diagnosed with cancer, I felt like they kind of kept me in the dark
Did you like
little bit. I don't blame them for it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gotten, because I don't think the last time I saw my mom, I knew how severe it was.
Yeah.
And I think I would be, if she had passed, I'd been more upset without knowing the gravity of the situation?
So I'm dealing with that now. Last text my sister wrote in the world was, "I'm okay. I'll be home this weekend to drive your food truck." I was on a Friday night. I go to the Cavs game. I have a good time. Next day, my sister, the other sister, is a doctor. She's like, "They're giving Rhonda days and hours to live. We need you here."
Wow.
But she told her and the family, my brother's doing the kindness thing. He's living his life. He's in his lane. Like, let him do his thing. Like, don't let him, because I would have been like, oh no, like that. So I said it to say we would take these trips. I said my sister was wealthy. She's general counsel at Allstate, did all this stuff. We would take these great trips. Basically, you get there, we got you. So it would be Vegas. It would be these whatever's lavish trips, and she funded it all, whatever. Or respectfully, everybody else did, but I just showed up. I'm the idiot little brother. And this person wrote a text. And it was like the worst. I almost could say it verbatim, but I won't. But it was like the worst thing about people like you. You're sheep in wolves, or wolf in sheep's clothing. It would be amazing to find out your tax refunds or all this stuff, these trips, who's paying for them.
Wow.
But I can't tell anybody that my sister's dying, right? Or that these trips are like that we're on because she just beat it, or maybe it came back. So I'm going through all this, and it's in green, and I know it's not an iPhone, and I still have it. I screenshot it, and I just sit there with myself. I don't share it to anybody.
Did you know this person?
No, of course not.
Just a random person?
Yeah, a coward, like whatever.
Talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, but
just
I'm like,
a sheep.
But if you only knew, like, I flew Spirit to get there. Like, I have money. Like, I have things I'm doing, but it's things like that agitators used to bother me before. I even have a close friend that somehow you got me out here now. I didn't go to his wedding. And I've never talked about this openly, but we're here now, and I think I'm blocked or unfollowed, like one of my good friends. I didn't go to his wedding. Last minute, I wrote him a text that day, like, hey, I can't go to the wedding. It's my sister's 50th birthday in Chicago. She told us not to tell anybody.
Yeah.
So I can't be like, so the next day I get unfollowed, and I speak and whatever. Like, that's why I always say you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
So my sister's dying of cancer, this or that, but you're mad at me because I didn't go to your wedding, which I would have told you would have been okay. But I gave you an excuse, like, I did the proper thing or whatever. But it's like you just, that's why I live with that. And my mom, I tell her all the time, my mom's like a honk the horn. Why get out of the way? And I'm like, Mom, what if that? And I say specifically, what if that person just found out their daughter has cancer? What if that person just found out their dad's dying of AIDS?
Yeah.
So we live with that. So to answer your question, I know I keep going long on these answers, but it's like, it is hard, man. Like, some days I just want to that's why it's great. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I play with her. We go play dodgeball. She don't care. The other day she goes, why is your neck so fat? And then she's like, can I have some applesauce? And I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
No, you can't insult me.
Neck. Jesus, I just shaved it. But you try to find those moments, man. Nature, yoga, people you could talk to. I'm blessed. I wrote the other day, if you have family you can talk to, my mom and dad are like my place, my sister. Like, you just have those moments. But yeah, it gets hard, man. I can't imagine like Justin Bibb. Like, you're never gonna be right. You're never gonna be right. And it's people gonna want to not like you. I posted, people even then will hate you for how you're loved.
I got into, and I just had to step out because I'm like, I'm not getting into it with these people. I rarely get into it with people on social media. Cleveland Magazine posted a video with Justin Bibb where Justin Bibb was talking about all the opportunities of Cleveland. And I put like, clap, let's go. Like, and someone commented on it of all the bad things about Cleveland.
I saw it.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Yeah, and I said, and I responded. I said, "You're the problem. Leave Cleveland."
I saw it.
And then people kept, and I was like, I gotta bow out. Like,
you know what I learned, Austin, and you do it, but you didn't do it then. You not with that, but you can't take things personal.
And I typically, or publicly personal. I can take it personally.
You shouldn't.
But I know. But like,
because if you're true within your heart and you're true within yourself, if I don't like you and you did nothing to me, then it's literally on me, not you.
Absolutely.
Because no matter what you do. Man, the phrase that people say, my days, has probably changed with you, but I'm just trying to prove my haters wrong, and I think that's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah,
like, your haters, they're literally called haters. They're supposed to hate. That's their job.
Solidify those who actually believe in you.
So I do it cuter.
Like
I just say, I'm trying to prove the people who believe in me right.
Go.
I don't solidify. That's a big word, bro. But it's like, because your haters, even if you prove them wrong, they're gonna be like, do it again. Or they're on somebody else to hate.
Or they're gonna be like, oh well, it wasn't as good as him.
Right.
It wasn't as good as him.
Well, why would you live in that space? That's negativity. You never hear like LeBron ask, like, caring about what an 8th grader basketball player says. And the moment you go down to them, you're in their level.
Absolutely.
So you don't take things. I had to learn, man. Like, I just don't take anything personal. Like, I'm doing the best I can. trying to figure out in real time how to balance my life and helping others and doing the best I can. The running joke that I remind myself often, they killed Jesus, whether you believed in him or not. Mm-hmm. He turned water into wine.
Yeah.
This man was a party starter. People I didn't like him, but like, come here, Jesus.
The ultimate party trick.
He literally was like, here, hey, watch this.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, this is a business at very least.
Hey, Austin, here comes Jesus. Hey, come on, Jesus, come on, man. What you got, red or white? Let's we'll do a little white today, Jesus. But if they did that,
a little earthy notes to it.
Man, if they killed Martin Luther King, if they did all that, they don't care about us. Like, so you just got to do the best you can for the people that love you. Don't listen to the big, don't listen to the bad. You just stay in the moment. As long as you did what was best to you, what you think you can do, that's all that matters.
I agree.
How long was this supposed to go for?
Well, how much?
We
time
didn't get to nothing on the paper.
We really didn't. I had a whole. I didn't even introduce him.
You did it.
I didn't, because you just started talking, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm not going to go back now. Like, we are in a groove. I wasn't going to be like.
You didn't say the name of the podcast. You didn't introduce yourself.
Nope. Should we do it now?
Go ahead.
Everyone, this is Ricky Smith, comedian, writer, activist, philanthropist, founder of RAKE, also known of Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere. I also wrote down, and he's also a newlywed. The first thing I usually have like a thing I'm going to say to someone, like off the top, just to get things rolling. Your Instagram says seen on Travel Channel, ESPN, TMZ, ABC, BET, and CNN.
Yes.
Do you know how many frickin' segments we have done together? And now you could have just put you could have just put NBC. This is the affiliate. Like, you didn't even put NBC on there.
You know why I did that?
And now you can put Love in the Land. 45 people saw me.
Easily, because actually the bio I wrote, if you want me to be real, being transparent, it didn't work. I get... yeah, just leave it at that. No,
Okay.
it's part of one of the questions I actually led you to ask me.
I love that for us.
Go ahead.
The one question that's written down that I really want to get to, and I want you to tell the story, is how Derek Jeter stole your girlfriend.
Oh, man, this is why social media is amazing. I actually wrote this story about Derek Jeter stealing my girlfriend the day he announced he was retiring. I'm literally doing a number 2. I write on my phone. I go to sit it down.
That's where I do all my best thinking and writing.
I sit my phone down, go to take a shower, come out, and you probably clearly you've done it. When you hit a perfect tweet and you're like, ding, 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 you're like, either I'm getting fired, canceled, like what?
Dude. Yeah.
It took off like wildfire, the tweets, and it just wouldn't stop going. It ended up, Max Kellerman, it picked it up, and he started talking about it. It hit like Deadspin. ESPN brought me in to do it live on air, talk about it. Complex, like all these people everywhere were just going about this story. Sorry, just burped.
Excuse you.
Yeah. Well, Derek Jeter, this is back in MySpace days. You have the top 8. You don't know about MySpace, but there was a thing called MySpace.
That was my first
How young
social
are you?
media. I'm 31. I was in 7th grade when I had MySpace.
Yeah, well, this is going to make it very relevant. I was a grown adult on MySpace. We're going to craft foods here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I had a company car, and I met this young lady. We hadn't met before. This before catfishing was a thing.
Yeah.
I meet this young lady, and she's like, come to New York. And I was like, oh, I'm on this budget, but I got a company car. And we worked it out that I was going to pay for like dinner, and she was going to get the hotel and separate beds and stuff like that. But like we were going to have fun in New York, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, so you met her on MySpace and then went to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
So I go to New York. I drive up there 6 hours and all excited. Got my Ford Taurus company car, navy blue, and da-da-da through the tolls, which I found out later on. Caveat to this story, I got in trouble because I wasn't supposed to take the company car out of state for non-out-of-state work. Like, why are you selling mac and cheese in New York? But whatever. So go to New York. We go to Olive Garden and Times Square, and then we go to like a bar. This is before bottle service and any of this stuff. And we're there, and I'm a big...
You were in New York City and went to Olive Garden?
Olive Garden? Come on. Jocelyn, I realize there's no Yelp. There's no smartphones. So you just got to just go what you know.
Like you can ask like a local.
Whatever.
Go on.
Anyway,
Sorry.
that'd be too easy.
Yes.
So we go to this bar afterwards, and like I see Derek Jeter. And I like tell the girl, like, oh my God, it's Derek Jeter. She has no idea who he is.
Yeah.
And he had like hair back then. This is when he was like the captain, like whatever, Derek Jeter. And I was like, oh my God, Derek Jeter went to Michigan, shortstop, amazing, like da-da, da-da. And she's like, okay.
American
yeah,
hero.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. ladies' man. I
Yeah.
even threw that in. I go to the bathroom. I come back, and she's like talking to Derek Jeter. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like she's gonna introduce me into that. And I go buy a beer, and I'm like about to buy him one. I'm doing a signal like you need a drink. She's like, no, nothing.
Yep.
So this is for smartphone. So I'm
Sure.
playing like Bubble Brick on my phone and acting like I'm doing QWERTY text or something like that. I'm just sitting there, and like nothing. So I'm like, okay, and go back to the bathroom again because you gotta play it cool. You've been that guy before. There's nothing. Every man, I don't care how cool you are, you've been that guy where you have to just sit and just take it. Like,
And inside, you are just
you think everyone's looking at you. It's
absolutely.
hot. You're acting like you like the songs being played. You're trying to make small talk to the bartender.
so. You guys got a Miller Lite here, or
They leave.
Did you watch them leave?
Oh, I watched them leave.
So you never like went up and were like to she was
say
talking.
what?
Be like, hey, what's up? Like this is my date. Like
If
how
you
you doing?
if you saw respectfully, and this is your wife,
You just bowed out, man. I don't know. I think
what?
I
It's
feel
Derek
like
Jeter.
I feel like you opened up
Respectfully, if Obama came in right now and was talking to me, would you come up and talk to us?
Absolutely, I would have
that's
an
you.
in
Yeah,
to
well, that-
talk to Obama. I'd be
What
like, oh,
would
you
say?
know my
What
buddy
would
Ricky.
you would literally stop us.
I would if like it would wait for the right
That's
moment.
the whitest thing I ever heard. Like, hey, Austin Love here.
Hi, Austin Love. Damn glad to meet you.
No, you know the situation. Like, no, no, he was like in a section. Like, he was over there with everybody else. So, yes, maybe it's my fault. That's what you're trying to say? That's what you really want me in these podcasts to say. The whole story is my fault.
I'm not saying it's completely your fault, but like, I think you could have gone over an inch.
Hey, what's going on here?
Hey,
I know what was going on after eventually. I was like, okay.
Well, especially like if she probably was like, oh, he left me.
Nah.
I'd like to hear from her perspective. You ever hear from her again?
No, of course not. She blocked me.
Oh, she blocked you?
Yeah. Here's the worst part.
She probably thought you left.
As I was
So
going
she's
to,
like, well, I now have to go home with Derek
as
Jeter.
I was going to, that's exactly what happened. As I'm going to leave, the bartender's like, hey, you gotta pay your tab. I was like, what? Because we had talked about her paying for drinks. I was gonna pay for whatever. Cars declined.
Oh, Lord.
Cars declined. So now I'm sitting there like, okay, how much? She's like $142. Back then, that's right now it's like $2 million.
Not that bad in New York.
Like, and my car literally is back at the hotel. This is for Ubers.
Yeah.
No money for a cab.
Oh, my.
I had to take a bus. I don't even know how you would take a bus in New York, but it took me like hours.
Yikes.
Mind you, with that gut of like
that you just lost your girl.
No, maybe she'll be back. I'm still like, maybe she'll be back.
Maybe she'll be back.
Maybe they just went to have a cigarette.
They probably just went for ice cream.
And the worst part about the story is I loved them so much, I would have went with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just sit in the guest room. Like, I want to just ask questions about baseball.
Yeah, it's not that bad. You finish up with her. I'm gonna get freshened up. I'm gonna go get. I'm gonna get a glass of OJ.
Austin, what else? I mean, I'm like, well, what else? Like, to this day, I don't like number 2. I don't like pinstripes. Like, no.
So now you have a vendetta against Derek Jeter.
Oh, everything Yankees.
You hate him. Yeah. Also, too, in Cleveland, we definitely have a hatred for the Yankees.
You know what's funny?
That didn't even make it even.
Like you said, we. Are you all in with Cleveland sports? Like you're a we?
Oh yeah.
Cubs, Guardians play again World Series. You answered it.
You're wearing a Cubs hat.
Wow. Way to reflect. Actually, oddly, I like dynasties.
So it's hard. Go back to your question.
Yeah.
My parents met at a Cubs game.
I don't care.
I grew up
So
a
it's like
Cubs fan.
Cubs. Say it. Just say it.
I'm gonna say I want a really good series. Bam.
That's crazy.
Bam, bam, bam.
Bears?
Browns.
Okay. Lesser two evils.
Yeah, right? I know. Dude, my football watching experience sucks.
So is you.
I went to. It's me. It is
literally you.
absolutely me. My football teams are Browns, Bears, Iowa Hawkeyes.
That's a nice stadium.
Which one?
I was on tour, Iowa Hawkeyes.
Kinnick? Oh, I love it.
It was a
It's
nice.
awesome.
They had the kind of mean athletic director. We had this big RV. We had this big RV that said like American Cancer Society.
Yeah.
They made us move it because I don't know if you know where the American Cancer Society places, but they have the same like shared parking lot like the athletic director. They literally like, we'll tow it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like Jesus.
Like, good luck towing this RV. All right, I got a few quick hitters for you before we go here. Actually, all right. What would be your last meal?
Ooh.
Michael Simon mustard steak.
Yes. Not to be that guy, but I have 2 questions back to you.
Okay.
Am I going out on top or am I going out like I did something wrong?
You're not getting the death penalty.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, probably a cheesesteak, Mr. Heroes. Extra mushroom.
Mr. Heroes?
Oh, I love Mr. Heroes. I don't actually know why I'm not sponsored.
Wait,
I've
Mr. Heroes or Mr. Heroes?
Mr. Heroes.
Heroes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hot butter cheesesteak, extra mushroom. Yeah. Oh, I could eat like 40 of them.
Sheesh. I like that. All right. Favorite comedian?
Me.
You are your favorite comedian.
Yeah.
I love that for you. I
You
love
know
the
why?
confidence.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because I love what I do in public for people that need it, that I don't know who need it.
Yeah. I love that.
I love just to be able to touch people, make people laugh. I love the fact that if I walk in a room in doses, that people feel better from me being there.
Yeah.
That's literally how I try to live my life. Like,
Is that your ultimate goal?
Yeah, I think it is. Like if I walk in somewhere, like, here comes Rick.
Yeah.
And it's like you get that energy and that ball. Like I wish that everyone was like that. Like, what could I give to this situation?
That is true.
Do people say you look like Durs a lot? I just saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my nickname in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just literally saw it this moment. I don't know if it was a light hit.
From Workaholics.
Yeah.
We were it was like a pledge thing, and they were like trying to give us nicknames and like pledge initiation, whatever it was. And there's a kid who kind of looked like me, a little bit, blonde hair, blue eyes, and they go, oh, "What's the nickname for him?" And they're like, "Durs." And it was when Workaholics was at its peak. And someone like reached around the crowd and pointed at me and goes, "No, he's Durs."
I see it. Sorry.
was
Anyway,
for a little bit.
But yeah, Jerry Seinfeld is one of my favorites. But he's not a ha comedian, as people would say. But he just makes you. He takes something and just beats it up so much that you look at, like, he has a joke about dry cleaning.
Yeah.
He goes, what is dry cleaning? Like, there's no water. But every time I go by a dry cleaner, I think, like, what are they doing in there?
Yeah.
And to me, that's the genius of a joke.
That is true.
Yeah, he's like, dry cleaning is when you just take something dirty and just pick it off.
Yeah.
But you think about it, like,
What do they do?
yeah.
That's a good point.
But I guarantee every time you walk by a dry cleaner, you're going to think of
that. Yeah, absolutely. Dream kindness mission.
Wow. Wow. For everyone to tell everyone a joke. Like just
Like if you could initiate.
yeah, and everyone's just trying to make everybody laugh.
Like one day,
Yep.
one moment
Yep.
of the day where everyone is
Yep.
laughing.
Everyone is just, or at least trying, because sometimes the attempt is the joke.
Absolutely.
Like, that didn't work. But
Yeah.
I think of everyone, because with that, I know we got to go. With that, you're thinking of others.
Yeah.
So I know I said the joke, but I'm trying to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Like, it's not selfishness. Like, you don't say, let me wake up and make myself laugh.
No.
No.
Sometimes I try to do that
Right.
because I wake up at 3 o'clock.
But you
in the
laugh at
morning.
yourself.
Absolutely.
But I think the fun of it is everyone, like, trying to make somebody enjoy something and have a moment. I think that's what comedy is. You're having a moment with somebody.
Yeah.
You're enjoying it. And I think that would be, wow, that's a great question. But yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Even just going off the fly, I think that would be super cool.
Yeah. We'll see if you do it. And maybe you could use this, your dream partnership.
My wife.
No. Like,
Don't get me in trouble,
I'm
Austin.
not getting you. Like sponsorship partnership, like for RAKE.
Oh, wow. Honestly,
Like to team up with
the
them.
honest truth, and it's been this from day one. That's why that bio. You're really good, full circle. A network to literally give me a show or a segment.
Yeah.
Of just literally promoting kindness, but in a way that's not hokey.
Yeah.
But just a megaphone of just, I mean, you've done it. We've done things together. Was just like, to me, to experience me. There's a running joke in Hollywood, not all of Hollywood. The people that know me goes, it's always been for 13 years. There's something there.
Yeah.
That's literally what they say about me. They're like, we don't know what it is.
Something's there.
There's something there. I've had so many pilots. We have so many show ideas, but I'm like, somebody just give me a camera
Yeah.
and let me go. I guarantee you,
just stay out of the way.
you would make a lot of money.
Yeah.
2, I guarantee the world will be better for it.
Yeah.
I promise you.
What would that show look like?
I don't know. I like the fact of you're gonna steal it.
This is it's
You are gonna steal it.
CC. Just CC it. Copyright.
No, it would just be me being me, but being me with others. I feel like nowadays, and I gave you a question to ask me, which I'm not supposed to say, but I feel like the viral videos of people doing kindness, I
Yeah.
actually hate them.
Yeah.
And I don't hate them for the people doing kindness, but it makes kindness a spectator sport.
Yeah.
And it's like people, you read the comments, it's like, oh, I can't wait till I get rich to do that. But I feel like the fun of it is all of us doing it. So if
Yeah.
it's like me showing up at Channel 3 and one day we just going out in the community and we're all doing something, but not planting trees.
Yeah.
Like the thing that people realize, not saying I don't want to plant trees. What I'm saying is a lot of times we focus on those that quote unquote need kindness.
Sure.
And I feel like we all need kindness.
Yeah.
So if you took one day, a corporation, for example, once a week, we could actually do this locally, and said we're gonna literally have our workers for 1 hour this week just go out and do something cool. It could be high-fiving. It could be opening doors. It could be something unique to them. It doesn't be life-changing, but it could be something that whatever. Imagine how cool that'd be in Cleveland.
There is one video, and I'm kind of with you on these viral videos, but one is kind of like that I loved, and it was literally just like complimenting strangers. And to watch them be like, first be like, why are you talking to me? And then be like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I love stuff like that.
But I like the aspect that you don't have to be, like anyone can do it. I mean, I literally, I don't know if you know this, but everything I literally done from DJing at retirement homes to everything, I've done it with the mind state of I've started this with no money.
Yeah.
So people were writing the comments to me, and kids, and I speak at colleges, and even grown-ups be like, oh, I can't wait to grow up to be Ricky Smith. Oh, if I had this much money, I'd do this. Like, no. You literally, the cancer tour I just did, visiting cancer patients, I did it with nothing. Like, you can literally go to your local American Cancer Society, Hope Lodge. You can call, like, these places. I just did a thing, actually, with Channel 3, which you'll hear about soon, by the way. You don't know this. I can't break it now, but you'll hear about it soon.
Break it.
But I'm trying to help schools with attendance.
Yeah.
Like, me as me. Not me as like whatever, but it's like if everyone called their local school or local city and could be like, hey, what do you need help with? And whatever your thing is, your animal shelter.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and one of the biggest detriments that I think has taken place, and I don't know if it's laziness, not knowing how to do it, not having the confidence, but and it goes back to the most cliche line ever.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to be in the world. But it is true. Like, you don't have to be in the White House to make decisions. You don't have to be this activist with your own nonprofit. You don't have to be the mayor. You don't have to be an alderman. You can literally make we did a story a few months ago about a woman who just went walking around her neighborhood and was walking her dog, and her dog stepped in glass. So then every week she went around collecting the glass. You are making your neighborhood better.
I spoke to a kid many moons ago. Rake just started. Rake's 10 years old, so 10 years ago. And I did this whole panel in front of kids, and he comes up, he goes, I'm 6 years old. What can I do? I go, hand out bubble gum in your neighborhood. A year later, his mom goes, thank you. He goes, he has all this bubble gum. Yeah. Different kind. He just goes around, the good kids, bad kids. Like, he just has grape, he has whatever. And he just brightens up days with bubble gum.
That's awesome.
I just think that, like you said, we get so...
everyone likes the guy who gives them gum.
Man, like, he's probably viral right now.
Yeah.
Being specialized in something, whatever, but I think we sit back. I had this football coach, man, believe it or not. He's pretty good at sports. I was good. That was nice. But he said, if you don't know what to do, hit somebody.
Yeah.
Just hit somebody. He goes, I will never get mad at you. He goes, if you don't even know what you're supposed to do, if you hit somebody, and I believe that with kindness. Like, if you know where to start, you know where to start. I had a good friend of mine that, this Reagan, who's probably watching this, and I met her many years ago, and her stories I've told many times. But she's in college now, and she goes, me and my friends raised a bunch of money. We're going to take it down to our local XYZ. And I go, Reagan, that's great. I'm glad you did that. I go, what about somebody that you see every day? And she goes, okay, what do? I go, ask him what he wants. And the guy just passed away. Sorry, I know the story won't go that way. But the caregiver reached out to her to say that meant the world to her that they reached out to her. Yeah. So I'm like, we all can do something for somebody else. We don't have to do this grandiose thing. We don't have to do, be rich. We don't have to be famous. Actually, I have to say just the opposite. Like, just don't be a jerk. I don't know if I can say the word I'm supposed to say, but just be nice to somebody, because, like, again, we're all going through something. Like, and if we're not as good, we're about to go through something. Yeah. So just whatever. Yeah. Like the Austin and Rick show. We did that.
The Austin and
Rick show. We had fun. I didn't go to the baseball game with that guy. Did he get the tickets though?
Yeah, he got the tickets.
Bernie, it was Bernie's fault. It wasn't my fault.
I made sure he got the tickets.
It was Bernie's fault.
What would the title of your autobiography be?
Wow. Jeez. There's something there.
There's something there? I like that.
Because there's so many plays on that. Because I feel like we all have something there. Yeah. I feel like it's my mom and dad. My dad used to say, if you find a gift, then you've done great things in the world. And my mom was like, years ago, like recently, mom's like, what's my gift? Well, Mom, you raised 3 amazing kids. She goes, well, that's not a gift. I go, Mom, it is a gift. Yeah. I think we all have a gift. It's just for us to figure it out. It could be the smaller the thing, the bigger the things. I think so many times I hate when these super rich, famous celebrities have a very, very specific skill they're really good at. And they're like, oh, anybody could do this. I was down and out. Like, no, John Mayer, you could play the guitar better than anybody in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, when I was at my worst. No, you picked up a guitar and you had the skills. Like, don't pander or talk down to people who might not have that skill set, or might not have this thing that you could just be the best ever. Yeah, you work hard. Yeah, you improve your skills, but it's for us to find those unique qualities we have, because at the end of the day, it's 8 billion of us. Yeah. We all have something that's very unique. We all have a set of skills that we can improve the people around us in our lives. Man, I'm good. I'm killing it today.
Hugo, my goodness, that edible's hitting.
No, I wish it was.
Last question here. Mm-hmm. Who's the most famous person in your phone? Phone number in your phone.
Wow. They would answer?
Should we call him?
No, because they won't answer.
Do you have Travis Kelce's number?
Yeah.
Should we call him?
No. I think, you know what? I screwed myself with that.
Why?
He's invited me to Kansas City for a game every year.
Bro.
Every year. The event he had this summer.
Which one was that?
He did a big event for the Super Bowl. Like, it was Travis for the draft. Did the draft party in Kansas City.
Yes.
Big event. Every year. His boys, I'm friends with all of them. I know we got to go, but quick story. Travis Kelce, I didn't know I met him when I met him at first. We were at Sky Zone, and we were playing dodgeball. It was me and this guy, big corn-fed white boy, and like against 4 people. And they just put it. We won like 9 games in a row.
Yeah.
And I took a photo. A former employee, Barry Wolf, the next day was like, "Yo, you met Travis Kelce?" And I was like, "Oh,
did I?
Oh, he's cool."
Why was Travis Kelce at Sky Zone? That's
what I said. And then he's actually the reason too why I got LASIK recently, because I didn't realize I was at Coachella this past spring, and I didn't realize he was in front of me this close, and I couldn't see him. And he got mad at me. It's a video went viral of him like cursing me out.
Is hilarious.
And I was like, in my defense, Coachella was like 14 million white people.
Yeah.
And he's just a big corn-fed white boy standing over me. But to answer your question, I would say probably Serena.
Serena?
Yeah. No, Travis probably bigger now.
Probably right now.
Yeah. Probably.
In this moment. I don't know if anyone could get any more famous.
Who's yours?
Not that impressive, but Michael Simon?
Yeah.
It's not that impressive. No. I got Stephen Kwan's number.
Same. He's the reason why I actually got a depression about a year ago.
Stephen Kwan? Why?
I'm very competitive by nature. And he was always posting about chess. And I was like, I'm going to beat you. He's like, no, download this app. And we played literally all day, every day. And he whooped me.
Did he?
I'm wired a little different. Yeah. YouTube classes, took classes online. I beat him 2 out of 3 recently.
Look at you go. Yeah. Well, I've done a story on Stephen Kwan doing like the chess.
I know, Austin. That's how I knew.
So actually, I got you out of depression through my skill of journalism and my storytelling ability.
I want to say congrats too on winning a Emmy, multiple.
Thanks, man.
I won one. Well, my name's on one, but I never got to see it.
I heard about that.
Still haven't seen it.
I know. I'm actually kind of mad that because the story that you and I did together didn't win.
Me too.
It was nominated.
But I'm still back to how I haven't seen the Emmy.
Yeah, you have 5 more to catch me.
Oh, we get that easily.
You got that.
Well, local. Yours are regional, right?
The regional.
Yeah, I'm going for.
Going for the big one.
Yeah.
Going for the big daddy.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
What is it? G-Tot? Grammy. I was about to try to say what I wanted to say. Yeah, I was going to try to say what I wanted, but I was going to really be like, ooh, you can't say.
It is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Can you sing?
I can sing Love Shack.
Can you act? I feel like you could act.
I was Willy Wonka in my 8th grade play.
I see it.
Yeah.
I feel like you get it.
Maybe this is my second act. After I'm 31, I finally discover what I'm supposed to be doing.
I had a friend. I know we got to go. I had a friend.
We've been saying that for 15
I've been saying
whatever. I mean, we can say all day.
I had a friend that said that she always believes, and it was a negative comment. She didn't take it that way. She goes, that I'm having many midlife crises because I keep reinventing myself. And I thought that was the most boring thing for somebody to say.
That you keep reinventing yourself?
Because life is so short. Like, why be one thing?
I agree. Yeah, that she was like mad that she keeps reinventing herself?
No, me. Like, it was almost like a slight. It was
that
almost
you
like,
keep reinventing.
But I was like, well, there's so much world. Like, why just be one thing when there's so many things? Like, why not be a chess master?
Absolutely.
Why not be a chef?
Why not be really good at roller skating? Or bowling.
I'm really good at both.
I know you are.
Yeah. What are you good at?
I like cooking.
Better than me?
Let's have a cook-off. Let's
do
have a
it.
charity cook-off.
Let's do it.
That'd be fun.
That's the part I hate about kindness. Everything I do has to be for charity.
Yeah, right. You just can't have
Like, let's bet. Let's do it for charity.
Yeah, we'll do it for charity. I'll do
Here
it
goes
for
charity
charity.
again.
Yeah.
I want to make money once. Let's do it. Let's do something.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
We'll have celebrity judges.
Yeah.
Do restaurants, you guys, whatever. We can do it here.
Now, do you want to do like a specific dish? I feel like it has to be categorized at some point, like best burger, best steak.
No. Well, no. That's too
much.
Personalized. Why don't we just we have $50
Okay.
per plate.
Okay.
We have 7 judges.
7. 3. 7's way too many.
Okay. We met judging.
We didn't meet
contest. We
judging.
didn't.
Yeah.
What do you say? You say the same thing? Because it could be a different take. Like, I hate blue cheese on a burger.
And I do like blue cheese on a
I
burger.
actually had a conversation with the Hallie Stranos yesterday. We were talking about favorite burgers.
Yeah.
And we were both ate healthy yesterday. And then out of nowhere, it just went. Because she was like, she likes cooked onions, where I'm a raw onion person.
I like cooked onions.
See, that's subjective. So that's what I'm saying.
caramelized
We should
onions.
do a meal, maybe the same ingredients.
Okay.
So you could do like a chicken. You tell me. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's think about it.
We probably won't. We
let's
have so many
sleep.
ideas we never do.
Yeah,
Once
we're
we
not
hit
gonna
cut,
do it.
that's it. I don't even like you.
Yeah, I don't like you
Okay.
either. All right.
Did they valet somebody? Took my car keys.
Where can we follow you? Where can we find more information about Rake?
I'm overexposed. I'm easy to find.
Do not follow him.
I got enough.
Don't donate to
Yeah,
Rake.
be more memorable. That's fine. They won't.
Oh, I love it. You're
The
the
reason
man.
I love doing shows with you, man, this is a true story, and this is a testament to who you are. There's always a woman, elderly couple, always donates to Rake by way of check in the mail.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. And it makes me feel so much better.
So I'm like your sugar daddy.
Of the elderly, yeah.
Dude,
They love you.
they love me. I mean, that's who watches local news.
Yeah, this lady like stamp, envelope. They put the notebook sheet of paper so you don't see the check.
Oh yeah.
And they're
Yep.
like,
they probably put they don't lick it. They put a sticker on there.
uh-oh, that's my ringtone. That's a good ringtone.
That's not
You wouldn't
bad.
expect that to be my ringtone.
That's not bad.
Bill collector.
Love that. Oh, nice. Yeah, classic.
Gotta pay bills.
Anyways,
Rake, Ricky Smith, Random Acts Kindness everywhere. RakeNow.org is the website. Rickonia, RICKONIA. But more than anything, man, not following no day. Just go do good in the world, man. Hopefully somebody got motivated, inspired. One person listening to this and they got motivated, inspired, and realize they're exactly where they need to be, and then they can affect the world the way they need to affect the world. Then this podcast was not to say only one person will listen, but I do appreciate you more than you know. You've reached out to me and given me a platform and a space to tell more than just the generic why did I start Rake. So I mean that genuinely and truthfully, to the point where I actually stopped doing interviews for a little bit because it was like you can just Google already what it is.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the layers that you let me peel back and be me, comedic me, and Rake me. Sometimes I get to do one or the other.
Yeah.
More so Rake than comedic me because people understand like there's layers to things. So I appreciate you more than you know. Seriously.
thanks, bro. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. All-time vibes guy, Ricky Smith, ladies and gentlemen.